my prime rib style holiday chuck roast recipe. It's going to be all you need this holiday season. It's going to be half the price, but I can guarantee you it's going to be all the satisfaction. With that being said, let's get to cooking. First thing I want to do is make a compound butter. It's going to be more like a garlic and herb compound butter, but it's going to work out perfectly fine. All right. To our bowls, I am going to be using salted butter. However, feel free to use unsalted butter if you prefer. We're going to add our butter to a bowl. Let's add some kosher salt. It's a really thick piece of meat that we're going to be working with tonight, so that's why I'm adding so much salt, but you can always scale back and use less if you prefer. We're also going to be adding some ground black pepper, smoked paprika. You have regular, you can use regular paprika. It's just not going to be as smoky, but that's okay. We're going to add some onion powder, garlic powder as well, along with our fresh thyme. Now, when it comes to the thyme, I'm going to hold it just like this, all right? Look at the direction that the leaves on the thyme stem is growing and just pull in the opposite direction, and that's it. Hold like this and just pull against the leaves in the opposite direction, and that's it. All right, I'm going to add a good amount of thyme. Not only is it refreshing, but like I said, it's a large piece of meat. You want to make sure you season it correctly, okay? We only have one time to get this correct. So our measurements have to be on point. Ready? Got some rosemary, of course, fresh rosemary. Same thing. Gonna pull back against the stem. When it comes down to the rosemary, because it's a little, you know, the leaves are semi-thick, I like to put it on the cutting board after, of course, I take it off of the stem and just chop it up really quickly to kind of refine it even more. But in this instance, since it's going to be for us, it's no big deal. But if you want to refine that rosemary, like I said, take it off of the stem, chop it up really good, and then incorporate it with your compound butter. I'm going to use the back of this spoon, and we are going to combine all of our herbs with the butter. Make sure the butter is room temperature. That is really, really important. If not, you're going to be fighting. You are going to be fighting with the cold butter, okay? Trying to figure yourself out. You see how easy it is to just basically mash it with the back of the spoon? Yep, this is how we like it. Mix it up really well. If you're about that life, give the butter a taste. See if it's where you need it to be, and take it from there. I'm gonna add some of my all-purpose chicken seasoning as well. Add a small, about half a teaspoon will be perfectly fine, to the butter to amplify the flavors. This is about a 3-pound chuck roast. This recipe is going to be written out for a 3 to 4 pound chuck roast. Now here's the thing, before you prepare your chuck roast, you want to take it out of the refrigerator at least 1 hour and go in with paper towels, whether or not if you rinse the meat off or not, because you want to pick up all of that residual liquid or water that may be on the protein, right? Because we're going to be searing our meat later on, and trust me, if the meat is wet, oh my goodness, you're going to have 4th of July during the holidays. Went ahead, did all of that. We're going to introduce a drizzle of oil to the roast. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side as well. Small amount of oil goes a far way. Make sure you get the corners as well and the sides. We're going to take our compound butter. And we are going to smooth it onto the meat. And another great thing, right? Not only is adding the oil going to help with spreading the compound butter onto the meat, it's also really important that as I explained earlier, for the meat to be dry. Simply because if it's not dry, you're going to know. When you try to spread the compound butter, it's going to be hard to stick onto the meat. It's not going to make any sense. You're just going to be taking your hands and passing it along the meat, but it's not going to be sticking. You see how it's sticking to the surface of the meat? That's what we need. Pull up my hands, put some along the sides. Because we're using like herbs and different seasonings, It's a possibility. You're gonna set off the smoke alarm, but nevertheless, it's still gonna be tasty. Don't worry. We're gonna flip it over. All right. Get that compound butter on this side as well. Take the bowl. Let's use our hands. In the meanwhile, heat up your heavy duty pan or Dutch oven. I'm going to be using a Dutch oven for this recipe today, and I'm going to make sure it's screaming hot because I want the meat to sear really pretty. Trust me, when I tell you I want this meat to have like perfectly brown edges and everything else, that's exactly what we're going for. Pan is nice and hot and ready to go. Gonna add a small drizzle of oil to the pan. All right, nice and smoky. And it's time for us to add our meat. All right. We're gonna flip the meat over and we're gonna allow it to brown on this side for about 3 to 4 minutes as well. Check out the beautification of the crust. This is what we're going for. This looks amazing. Not to mention, right, the meat is not even cooked yet, but because we went ahead and seared this side, it smells amazing. It's been about 3.5 minutes so far. I took a quick peek and I could see that everything is browned beautifully. I'm gonna go ahead and take the meat and place it onto this plate, okay, my loves? This is gorgeous. Yes, it's not edible yet, okay? It's not edible just yet. All of our beautiful residual bits that we have in the bottom of the pan, we're gonna take this time to sort of scrape it up just a little bit, okay? Yes, we're gonna be adding liquid to the pan. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stove top off. And adding the liquid is going to deglaze the bottom of the pan. But, however, I want to kind of start that process beforehand. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add our beef broth. Love the sound of that sizzle. Give it a good stir. I could already feel the bottom of the pan being smooth. So that just means that the deglazing process has started. We're going to add some red wine. However, if you don't want to add the red wine, you're going to substitute with adding more broth, whether it be beef broth. I wouldn't really suggest chicken broth for this particular recipe, but if that's what you have on hand, that's what you're going to use. Chicken has never failed anyone when it comes down to the flavor, okay? We're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. Get that on in there. Great thing about that Worcestershire, 3 different flavor complexities. You have the sweet, savory, and the sour, okay? That's definitely going to bring out the flavors even more. Because it's not a pot roast, we're not going to add anything else. We're cooking our chuck roast as if we're doing prime ribs. We're going to take our perfectly seared chuck roast, add it back to the pan. We're going to add all of the rosemary and all of the seasonings and the juice back to the pan as well, along with the roast. Once we're done, we're going to cover it on down and we're going to place it into our preheated 325-degree Fahrenheit oven, and we're going to allow it to cook for at least 2.5 to 3 hours or until the meat is tender. After 3 hours, I went ahead and removed the prime roast chuck from the oven. It's sitting right here cooling off. Now here's the thing, when it comes to serving up your prime chuck, serve it up with, let's say, a creamy bed of mashed potatoes or even creamy polenta. Maybe some roasted carrots and veg. Is totally up to you. First thing I want to do to these nice hot potatoes is I am going to start off with adding a pinch of salt and ground black pepper. Believe it or not, the ground black pepper works really well with the mashed potatoes. I know a lot of people always go for salt, but add that pinch of black pepper and you're going to see the ultimate difference. It really amplifies the flavor. I'm going to add some butter. We have a good amount of potatoes, so maybe about 2 tablespoons would be perfect. Since the potatoes are really soft, I'm not using a lot of elbow grease, so to speak. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. All right, potatoes are really hot, so the butter took no time to melt, which is always great. I'm just gonna clean off the masher. I'm gonna add a small dollop of sour cream. The sour cream is going to wake up the flavors in the mashed potatoes. If you want to add cream cheese, you definitely can add cream cheese, but I want to give the cream cheese a little break and add some sour cream. It's going to work out really well. Let's add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Add the whole thing, why not, right? Fold the cheese into the mash. It's going to provide a nice, nutty, somewhat slightly sharp flavor. I add a small splash of heavy cream. The potatoes are pretty fluffy and light, so that's just what this is, a small splash. And the reason why we added the heavy cream is simple. It's because I want these potatoes to have a decadent, creamy flavor. Without adding too much, of course, because if you add too much, what's going to happen is the potatoes are not going to have any body. It's just going to be like mush on your plate. All right, that's perfect. All right, check out this beauty. Gonna remove it from the pan, of course. The meat is so delicate and soft. That's okay if it breaks. You know what? That's totally okay. That just demonstrates that the meat is perfectly cooked, tender and juicy. All right. We're gonna take our beautiful chunks of meat out, and we are gonna place it on this plate and put it to the side. We want to make a gravy. So in order to do that, we want to thicken things up just a bit. This is too much flavor to be just letting it either go in the garbage, or if you put this on your potatoes right now, I'm looking for a spoon. If you were to drizzle this on anything, it's just going to be more like an au jus type situation. It's very thin, okay? We want a little substance in our gravy. As you can see, I have some all-purpose flour along with water. Gonna mix it up really good. And what we're doing is we're creating a slurry. I'm just gonna add it, and this is gonna work as a thickener. Prior to making the gravy, if by any chance, right, you notice that there's a lot of oil on top after you remove the meat, definitely skim off the excess oil. At least that's what I did during the cooking process. I went to check on it to make sure everything was good. I ended up adding more liquid, maybe like one time, because I realized that I wanted the meat to be more tender, right? And the liquid was drying out a little bit faster than I anticipated. So I went ahead and just added some more liquid, and that's all. All right, this is perfect. If you end up adding, let's say for instance, too much flour, too much of a slurry, no problem, just add some more broth or water, and that will loosen things up. Oh, it smells really good. The aromatics in this gravy, ooh, it just smells amazing. You have to try it in order to understand what I'm telling you right now. All right, see the difference? Much thicker. It looks sort of like a melted chocolate syrup. That's good, that's perfect. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn the stovetop off. Now here's the thing, if you wanted to, like, let's say maybe incorporate some carrots within this gravy, you could have definitely done that while you were making your chuck roast. That would have worked out perfectly fine as well. All right, I'm gonna go in for a big spoonful of potato. The plate. All right, gonna get some of our beautiful meat, and let's go on with some of that beautiful gravy. Rich, decadent, luscious gravy. Let's have a little fun with our parsley, of course. And dinner is served. Let's go. This is good. The meat is tender, literally. Check this out. The meat is so tender. I'm shredding it with a fork. Perfect. Stop freaking playing. Stop playing, okay? If you're looking for the recipes, Cooking with Tammy, I have your back, all right? Cooking with Tammy has your back. This right here, my loves, is the most delicious. My goodness. Now, here's the thing. We replicated the prime roast the prime rib roast with beef chuck. When I tell you, you can't tell the difference with the taste. You really can't tell the difference. Yes, the texture of the meat may be slightly different, but wow, the flavors are definitely speaking out loud. It's so good. Give it a try. As I said, the price for the chuck obviously is way less than the prime rib. You're gonna get so much satisfaction for a lesser price. Give this recipe a try. Let me know what you think, and I would definitely catch you guys with another recipe. Need seasonings? No worries. cookingwithtammy.shop. You can't find the recipe? Click on where it says more at the bottom of the video. A display box is going to drop down, and you're going to see the full recipe details in its entirety, and I will talk to you out later. Happy holidays, by the way.